This is the motto for the day. I'm gonna show that shit on this model right here.
Goddamn right.
That's how I feel about that shit.
Oh, rat's ass. Okay, all right.
Still trying to figure that shit out.
Yeah, I swear, I was still trying to figure that shit out. I was like, what the fuck?
And that is the intro, ladies and gentlemen.
I was definitely. Welcome to the AWO Podcast. We are the assholes with opinions. Fellas, welcome back. Episode number 4. I am your moderator and host, Sonny. We got the damn Deacon.
Yes, sir. Money on the way.
We got G Gaines.
What's up, man? This is my motto today, man. Look, I don't give a
rat's ass.
That's it right there.
Rat's ass. Right, because, boy, it's a lot to talk about today.
It was a lot of shit going on.
Great fucking week for content. Dick, your first clip. Let's get into it. Let's go.
All right. Hey, look, just like the rest of this episode, man, the moral of this story is, man, just know when to quit, man. Know when to stop. Because some people just don't know. So now, see, at this point, somebody should have been like, bruh, it's over.
It's over. It's over.
It's a wrap. Like,
you can't win, Rock. You seen him. You see how strong he is.
I'm telling you.
There's no need for him to continue this competition.
None. It's over.
What? Some people don't know when to stop. At this point, the goddamn smelling salt has come out. And look, as soon as he got slapped this time, you seen his homeboy put the ass up. He said, no.
Why would they let him go back to the table? He was wobbly after the first slap.
Man, he was done, man.
Hey, what old boy said? What old boy said? Rock it through the damn tall.
I'm trying to understand though why he was trying to deliver these like super respectful slaps, and Buddy was slapping these shit out of him.
He said, okay, right here.
No, Buddy had no respect for his face. None at all. But did y'all see after the first slap, his homeboy behind him just basically propped him up?
Yeah, he said,
yeah. Hey, man, stand your goddamn ground, man.
Hey, that ain't his goddamn.
That's not his friend. That is not your friend. That is not your friend. All right. Now, I'm not doing a segue from that topic into the next topic. We're going to announce this shit today, all right? Fellas, let's talk about Mr. Jussie Smollett. I'm going to tell you the first thing, I'm glad that we record when we record, because I had a chance to really kind of watch all the rest of the media, all the other podcasts, give their take on it. And I hadn't really seen too many people hitting on what we going to hit on today. Let's deal with the facts first. Jussie Smollett hired 2 Nigerians, faked a hate crime attack, said it was some white guys in MAGA hat, right? These are just the facts first. These just the facts, right?
Just the facts.
Got caught. Got caught. The Nigerian dude snitched on him. He got caught. But this past week, the charges are dropped against Jussie Smollett.
This is what I got to say. The charges they're dropped, but they're not dropped. He had to enter a plea to get this done. That's why he had to forfeit his bond money. That's why he had to sign off on the community service thing. The city of Chicago, they got other cases, and they especially got another high-profile case they're about to fight with R. Kelly. They didn't want to spend the money taking him to trial over this stupid shit, man.
The piss
they
gas,
just said, man, he's embarrassed himself enough. We got all the evidence to clean this motherfucker up. They was just like, man, fuck him.
But they got his money though. They got his money, and they
kept the 10,000, right? They kept the 10,000, right?
Who do you know gets their charges dropped they free of any guilt, but yet the court keeps their fucking bond. He has to forfeit his bond. That's
Chicago going broke. This shit was a shakedown. Like they're trying to get that man money. This man trying to get that man money. To prove a point, just to say, look, chill out.
Man, I got a couple of lanes to walk through here. I need y'all to walk with me for a little while. Okay. First of all, Deke, I agree with you. I definitely agree with you that Cook County was like, look, we ain't got time for this shit here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We don't have time for this shit here. But why? R. Kelly, definitely one reason. I think they know the amount of resources that they're about to put into the R. Kelly case. So they were like, yo, look, pass this shit off, man. This dude was he out here clout chasing. Pass this shit off, all right? Okay. What about the reputation of the Chicago Police Department? Do you feel that plays any part into this situation? The reason I say that is because that's what a lot of people who were supporting Jussie were clinging to. They were saying, well, you know, Chicago police, they notoriously corrupt, this, that, and the third. Do we think the district attorney maybe knew that they could pull off this deal with him because public opinion wasn't really, really on the side of the police department and trusting that investigation that they were doing?
Well, they lied though. Like, I mean, they had some evidence, but now they're saying that, well, we thought we ain't really had. Like, how you expect to catch real criminals? You can't catch this dude.
No, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. They presented a portion of evidence to the grand jury. Remember, it was a grand jury that indicted him.
Mm-hmm.
The grand jury indicted him. The police didn't charge him. The grand jury indicted him, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They saw a portion of evidence, and they said, oh, yeah, we're going to hit him with these 16 felonies, which brings me to another part of my theory. Did Chicago PD and the city of Chicago overreach charging him with 16 felonies?
That's my point. Like, they charged him with these 16 felonies throughout that number, like 47 years. That was a joke the whole time, right? That was never going to happen.
Right.
He was never getting 47 years for lying about getting his own ass whipped. That's the craziest shit ever. And you going to get your ass whipped and get 47 years for it? That shit was never going to happen. They were trying to make an example out of him, but then the bigger the shit got, the more evidence they had piled up that this shit, it was really a slam dunk. And they were just like, all right, fuck it. Jussie's ruined out here. He's ruined in public opinion. His professional life is gonna be ruined forever because of this.
Bro, I don't think his professional life is ruined. I don't think his professional life is ruined. I think we see, bro. Wasn't Jussie nominated for a fucking NAACP Image Award?
Fucking goodness.
Boy, they ain't even valid anymore. That's sad.
Wasn't Jussie nominated for an NAACP Image Award?
Let me just add some context here. The NCAA also nominated that guy from the Clippers, Donald Sterling. They nominated him for an award right after he went on a rant about the niggas his goddamn girlfriend was fucking. So, I mean.
What, Jussie gonna be nominated for Best Liar?
Yeah, like, that's crazy, man.
Hey, and sidebar, I'm trying to understand. All right, well, so Jussie did all of this shit to try to get his profile up, right? He was trying to get some more money off of the show, trying to make himself a bigger star, right?
He succeeded in that front.
Well, here's what I'm going to say directly to Jussie.
The gay Tupac, huh? That's who he is,
yeah, gay Tupac. That is right. Well, here's what I'm going to say directly to Jussie. Dog, the fact that you tried this shit, got caught, got all your shit put out there, this is why you don't make the money you think you make. When you can't act through your own fucking life, and you can't act through your own fucking life, that might be a problem.
You wrote your own script and couldn't follow that shit.
You wrote your own script and couldn't follow it. And the criminal life of them two fucking Nigerians, this need to be the beginning and the end of it right here.
Hey, I really do believe that these were the two most honest Nigerians on the planet, all right? And I'm not saying that to shit on Nigerians, but all of us on this call, we know some Nigerians, and we know what the fuck they do. All right.
His name is, like Chris Rock said, his name is Jussie. Now he ain't no Jussie. He Jussie.
Let's go back into the serious territory for a second. Do we think a call was made? Do we think that there was a favor done here?
I think so.
Does Jussie really have that much pull to have favors called in for him?
It may not be him. It may not be him. It's just the public opinion. It's just like, let's throw them a bone. Whoever support, let's throw it a bone and let him go. Like, nah, he don't have it, but I'm just saying.
But but look at the other shit though. What's her name? Kim Fox, I think her name is. She's like the district attorney or some shit like that. She was the one presiding over this shit, but she recused herself because of her relationship with him. Matter of fact, she reached out to his family or some shit like that when it all was going down. That's why she ended up recusing herself.
That's the thing, man. Folks don't even try to lie about their corruption no more. Like, they put that shit on Front Street. Like, they don't even try to hide it. Like, it ain't worth hiding no more.
If a call was made for Gay Tupac, the call went something like this. Listen, we don't have time to deal with this stupid motherfucker here, man.
We ain't got time for this shit.
We got some other shit going on.
We got time for this shit.
We got kills. We got kills.
Right. We got kills.
I'm just not buying it that it was some big conspiracy about this shit. It wasn't a conspiracy. It was motherfuckers being lazy. They like, man, fuck this. We actually
do
all of this shit.
Actually, I'm glad you said that. Because here's what I'm thinking, right? I'm thinking that all of this shit that we just talked about, I'm thinking all of this shit happened. I think Jussie faked the shit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Got caught, right? Chicago PD was in a fucking hurry to try to get him caught up because they knew he was full of shit. So they threw this shit in front of the grand jury. The grand jury jumped the gun, and Chicago PD jumped the gun with these 16 felonies. Yeah, we finna nail his ass to the wall. The chief came out and made his little statement and all that. The mayor also came out and made a statement after the charges got dropped. But to be honest, Rahm Emanuel, we're not fucking with you anyway. Look though, so Chicago PD, grand jury, they jumped the gun with these 16 felonies, right?
Uh-huh.
Then the call gets made. The favor happens. They have a fucking emergency hearing. They don't inform the police. They don't even inform the fucking mayor. Jussie gets community service, which really was him stuffing envelopes at Jesse Jackson's house. I don't see how that's community service. Okay? You know what I'm saying?
My thing is, what do we want done to Jussie? Do we really want Jussie to go to trial and be in jail behind this shit?
To be honest, I really didn't care what happened with this situation in Jussie. Because I just thought the whole shit was stupid. But I will say this, though. I'm trying to understand all of the media, all of the news outlets, the bloggers, other podcasts, all of these people that are coming at Jussie for this shit. Because in my opinion, Jussie really just pulled off the biggest troll of the year. Do we or do we not live in an era of trolling? That's the thing now, right? That's
trolling is cool until you involve the taxpayer, until I gotta pay for you trolling. Then that's a problem. Like, I got my money, I gotta pay the police department to follow your trolling. Like, troll somebody on the internet. Don't come up with this elaborate scheme and then say you the gay Tupac and then look for sympathy. Like, first off, Jussie looking for sympathy because he about to get written off a show that's failing, and you about to sell songs. You selling songs. So that shit is over with. My thing is, how am I trust the police department if you can't pin this dude with a sign saying I'm guilty? If you can't catch him, how you expect to catch real gangsters, like real dudes?
I don't think they gave two shit. They gave a fuck initially to just debunk this shit and prove that he was full of shit, right?
Right.
After public opinion and everybody found out, like, oh, Jussie full of shit, they didn't give a fuck about this no more.
But that's the thing, you can't pin, like, that's the easiest case ever. Like, if you can't get the easy guy, how you gonna get the hard guy? Gay dude showed up saying, I'm the gay Tupac, and they beat me at 2:00 in the middle of the street, and I was getting Subway.
Oh, no, don't forget though, this fucker said, and I fought back.
I fought back.
And he poured bleach on me, and I fought back so hard I kept the noose on as I walked home. Like, come on, bro. Like,
with my
really
sandwich.
With my Subway.
With my sandwich, yeah,
right.
yeah.
So you eating your sandwich with the noose they put on you. You fought back, but you failed, so you leaving the shit they put on you. The symbol of racism, they put that on you as you walk back home and you left at home. As you ate your Subway $5 foot long chicken bacon ranch or whatever that shit was, you gonna walk home with that shit on you. Like, I lost and everybody see I lost. Man, stop.
Man,
that man guilty as hell, and he played the card and he won. And everybody who's mad because he won are mad just because he won. Like, people
I'm glad. No, actually, I'm glad you said that, because that was actually my next question. Do y'all feel like Jussie won or lost in this situation?
Yeah, he won. He won because
he
was in jail. Because if any one of us did that shit, we'll be in jail.
So that's why he won. So to Malik's point, he did this just as an attention grab, right? To raise his profile.
Right.
I know Jussie Smollett's name now. I didn't know his name before this shit. I knew him as the guy from fucking Empire. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure there are millions of people out there just like me that didn't know his name before this shit, knows his name now.
I never heard of him. Never heard of him.
But the thing is, though, what is he gonna gain? Is he built up his profile or is he built up his infamy? You know? Which way is he gonna go?
There is a difference. You're right. There is a difference.
15 minutes. 15 minutes. That's what he's gained. And he's on minute number 13.
Exactly. He can't go back to being clean cut Jussie Smollett. For him to really gain off of this and for him to really profit off of this, he got to go full bad guy.
But look,
he got to go full bad guy. Full bad guy, Jussie's going to be bigger than anything out here, man.
You lied. He lied and got away with it. Like, why you celebrate? He lied and got away with it. So everybody's like, hey, Jussie. Like, OJ, if you lie and get away with it, you lie. That's all you are. You a liar and you got away with it. They don't give you a prize. They don't do nothing for you. You had 15 minutes of fame, and when that shit's over and your sorry ass song that was on Empire that nobody ever heard of goes away, and then you done. And then you're gonna be on Love and Hip Hop or some shit like that.
I mean, this comes back to the theme of the show. You gotta know when to fucking stop, man. Jussie and his lawyer, they gotta quit taking these fucking podiums before they piss these people off in fucking Chicago. Before they piss this mayor off, they piss this DA off, and they piss this police department off. They better chill the fuck out. They going on the podium saying I was not found guilty. They didn't have anything on me.
I'm telling the truth.
They got to chill out with that.
You're right.
Because if they don't stop, these people are really gonna show them, hey, we had you fucked from the get-go. We decided to let it go because we didn't feel like doing this.
I'm saying though,
keep playing, we gonna show you. You know,
right? But I'm saying they allowed Jussie to do the fucking Chicago shuffle up to the mic like right after the fucking court hearing and shit.
Right after.
Speaking of which, that brings us to our asshole of the week. Our asshole of the week award goes to you got the belt.
Championship.
Asshole of the week goes to the Chicago fucking PD. Let me tell you why. The reason I say that is because, number one, the overreach shit, like trying to get this dude on 16 count felonies for falsifying a police report. Come on, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's part of the reason, in my opinion, why Jussie got to walk away with this shit and why Jussie is not getting the asshole of the week award. The other part of this shit is coming out after it's over and having the nerve to talk about some shit being a whitewash of justice. Let me tell you something. The shit that I was reading says that they spent upwards of $200,000 investigating this case. The fact that they hadn't put those same type of fucking resources into all the murders and things going on unsolved in Chicago.
The mayor gonna get mad and said, "Oh, this is outrage and this and this. This is." He said, "Do you have any decency in yourself?" That's what he said about Jussie. So what about the dude who gunned down Laquan McDonald? Like, you ain't gonna say nothing about that. Like, you ain't that don't matter. You ain't worried about
the fucking murder rate in his goddamn city.
But that's what I'm saying. That's part of what pissed me off and why, like I said, the Chicago PD gets it instead of Jussie. You got the nerve to get on TV and talk about, I wish there was this type of attention given when we have these murders. Motherfucker, ain't that your job? Don't you assign resources?
Let's be clear. Those murders, the individual murders don't get the same type of pull as this.
Not at all.
The
Not
group of murders will get called out maybe at the beginning of the year, one time,
Right.
at the
Right.
end of
Of
the year,
course.
one time,
Of course.
right?
Right.
So they'll have to deal with some blowback then, but they can weather that storm because they've been doing it for years.
They've been doing
But
it for
this
years.
Jussie shit put the light on all of them, so they're like, all right, let's solve this shit now.
And it's something that you said earlier, D. It's something that you said earlier that really, really got me hot while I'm sitting there thinking about this shit. We all know Jussie's name. Name me one of the young shooting victims in Chicago right now.
I can't.
I can't do it.
Daquan McDonald, that's it. The one that was walking away from the cops and he got gunned down, and you worry about any decency. Have you have any decency, Jussie? What about the dudes who gunned this dude down? Like, they ain't got no decency. You worry about that.
And we only know that name because that name hit national fucking news.
Right. He only worried about that shit because that's the topic of the week. That's something to give him to speak on instead of how sorry his department is.
Well, I tell you what, that's their topic of the week. They get asshole of the week. Give them the belt.
Championship. Fucking cops.
Yeah. All right. The theme of this show is knowing when to sit your ass down, right?
Knowing when to sit the fuck down.
Which brings us to our next topic. If you notice, we're not doing no segues today. We're going and announcing topics and we're going right in. Cardi B.
Bellacles.
All right. So by the time y'all see this, everybody knows Cardi, an Instagram video from 3 years ago was pulled up with Cardi saying that guys would say that they want to have sex with her. She'd be like, yeah, cool. Then drug their ass and rob their ass, right? Everybody's in an uproar. You got two sides arguing, trying to figure out whether or not we should cancel Cardi B. Those are just the facts. We're going to start there. I'm going to let one of y'all start it off. One of y'all take this.
Cardi B full of shit. I'm going to start off. Hey, I'm just saying, man, like how you going to come out and say you had no other option? Jail full of dudes who ain't had no other option. Blame it. You try to change that shit around like, well, that's all I had to do to get to be a superstar. Man, stop. Like, how you gonna do what you gotta do to get to be a superstar? You gonna rob, dude. Like, you admitting to crimes.
Right.
Like, that shit is cool. Like, that shit ain't cool. That's a crime.
Hey, well, Gaines, you think it's a double standard? Hold on real quick.
It definitely is. You let me sit on this podcast and say, in order for me to get to be where I'm at, to sit where I am and have a bunch of pops in the background and record shit on TV and hang out, I had to go ahead and drug females and take their money and get over to get to where I'm at. Man, people look at me like I'm crazy. I'm giving celebrities a pass, man. Like, you wrong. You in the wrong.
Deke, where you at?
I got one thing to say now. We listen to all of these fucking male rappers talking about all these fucking kilos they was slinging, all these goddamn pistols they was shooting.
Right.
The 100 motherfuckers they shot each album.
Okay.
We let that shit ride. We just listen.
But that's on the record though. That's on the record though. That ain't just coming out talking though. That's different. Like we all know rap is free range is live.
Right. You talk about right. Yeah. You talk about whatever.
For you to sit there and say, in order for me to get to be this rapper, so I could lie and make money, I had to lie and drug people before I could lie and make money. You know what? You committing crimes while you sitting there trying to get to the money.
Hey, this motherfucker did say that this was how she was paying for her studio time, right?
Yeah.
Pay for your studio time by committing crimes. You can get mad when somebody say something about that. Like,
I'm gonna tell you my problem with it. I'm gonna tell you my problem.
Okay.
Gaines, you don't fall into this because you wasn't the biggest Cardi lover before this shit.
Right.
My problem is all of these fucking people who love Cardi because she's so ratchet, right?
Right.
They love her because she's so ratchet, she's so real. But it's all these people from the other side over here. When she actually does ratchet shit, they be so quick to try to turn around and say, oh, no, we don't co-sign that. When she was at the Met Gala throwing fucking shoes, people was like, oh, no, wait a minute.
Exactly.
I mean,
real shit.
Too much,
right.
But you love ratchet Cardi, though. My thing is, if you love her for who she is, love her for who the fuck she is. This is who she is. This is who Cardi's always been. These motherfuckers surprised by that shit. She was working in the strip club in New York City. That shit ain't working like Atlanta. That shit ain't working like in Houston, Vegas, none of them places.
Mm-hmm.
That shit is a grimy fucking situation, grimy life. She was doing all of this shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you loved her before for being so fucking ratchet.
And if you sign off on all that wretchedness and you one of them girls who post "This is my king" and looking at the little boy right here, little kid and shit, don't get mad when he fall for that same ratchet shit. You know what I'm saying? So if he does that, if he falls for that shit, then you know what? Co-sign the chick and say, oh, she was coming up, and tell your son, oh well, you stupid. You know how the game go. That's just an overall problem, man. Like every time somebody say, you know, this is wrong, when they do that shit, then it's like, oh well, that's okay. That's different. That's different because I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying?
I just hate when all these people, all these higher up people in all these offices, they love her so much for how gutter she is, but then try to turn on her when they find out how gutter she really is.
You a puppet, yeah. She a puppet.
Right.
She a puppet. That shit cute on the shelf or whatever, you a puppet. But when that shit get real, then you kind of brush that shit off. Like, nah, man, you basically admitted to committing crimes, right? And then they got all these rappers saying, well, that's just how it go. Rick Ross, another one gonna sit there and say, well, that's how the game go. Yeah, because you was admitting to that shit in the song. You wrote that shit in the song.
He did say that.
He said, I put Molly in her drink and fuck her. She ain't even know. Bro, that's rape. That's rape, boss. That's rape. Yeah. And then you gonna say, that's how the game go. No, that's how it go.
This is the part where I can't ride with Cardi, man. One of the motherfuckers said she was having trannies fuck the dudes.
No, she said that shit. It was a totally different video. She said, yeah, this is how you get back at your dude. Like, get him, drug him up real good, and then get him to fuck with a tranny. You know what I'm saying?
My thing is with that shit, though? You know my thing with that is? So you saying that her comeback was, nah, that's just dudes I messed with. I was dating them. All right, so if it's okay to rape dudes or fuck them over when you dating them, then what about all these women out here who saying we victims of domestic violence and you champion Cardi B? So Cardi B saying if you in a relationship, then all bets are off.
And right? I'll tell you another thing too, though.
So you still getting caught up.
If some shit ever happened down the road where a motherfucker slip her some shit and get her motherfucking ass, I don't want no fucking uproar.
Right.
I don't want no Me Too movement, none of that shit. Because at that point, I'm gonna call that shit karma.
Exactly. You got caught with the same okie doke you were giving out. You got caught by the banana in the tailpipe. If somebody slipped you a drink at one of these Met Galas or something, and then you end up, you know what I'm saying? You end up caught up. Hey, you can't say nothing. You know what I'm saying?
I want to talk about another angle of this shit too, though.
What?
This is kind of away from Cardi. This is on the other side of it. Like, how do y'all feel about these people even digging this stuff back up and putting it back out there? This thing 3 years ago. You know, she's not the same person today she was 3 years ago.
Yeah, because she was. Because you were committing crimes till you got to a point where you didn't have to. Because it offset, right? And somebody get one of y'all on the come up when they're trying to come up, are you gonna sit there and put that olive branch and say, "Oh, I understand how the game go. You were just trying to come up and you messed over us"? Nah, it's different. I can mess over people when it's okay for me to get up, but the other way around is a problem. You know what I'm saying?
I just don't like all these people digging up all these old videos. You dig up a video of me from 3 years ago, 7 years ago, ain't no telling what I'm saying. We have the right to change our opinions, or to change the person we are.
You can change, but you can't openly admit the crimes, though. That's like me saying, right? Man, I was wilding out like Liam Neeson. I took the gun and I shot somebody, but you know what? I changed my opinion. No, but you did the crime, though. Like, you did the crime, and if somebody did that shit to one of your people, then you'll be up and on with the flag saying, this is a crime. You shouldn't have did that shit. Blah, blah, blah. But it's okay when you do it to come up because you have no other options. The jail is full of people who had no other options, but they're still in jail. Right. So you need to address your crime. Don't say, well, it was just I had no option. You know what I'm saying? You had an option not to do that shit, to grind it out. How many of us had jobs that we didn't want, we didn't have because we had to grind it out to get to where we want to be? Now, you're going to tell me you can grind it out and you can take the easy route and you can commit crimes, but that shit don't matter because you had no other options. Man, stop. No.
But I just feel like we give so many other people passes, though. We let other people have them same stories.
Nobody should have them passes.
Come up story.
Nobody should have them passes if you commit crimes on people though. If you doing that shit at the expense of somebody else, you shouldn't have no pass. Give you a pass because you committing a crime and messing somebody else over because you need to come up. What about they come up? You know what I'm saying? You can't just say I'm gonna do a crime and my excuse is I'm looking for the come up. Everybody looking for the come up. As if I take my pistol and I go out there and rob you because I'm looking for the come up, and I say, hey, don't blame me because I had no other options. I needed this whip. I needed this car. I need this computer to do this podcast, so I had no other option. Somebody go rob you, and you can't blame me for it because that's just me talking shit. Like, you can't say that. And that's exactly what she doing. And all these folks are co-signing on this shit, saying, like, it's okay for you to say because you had no other options. Yeah, you had options. You know what I'm saying? Don't fucking buy that bottle. Don't do this. Don't buy the damn $3 shit instead of the $2 shit. Don't say I had no option, so I had to rob somebody and let that shit go because I had no option. Like,
hey, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. When we always have a pre-production meeting and we go over topics, talk about what we're gonna talk about. Sometimes when we decide, hey, you know what? I think I got a different viewpoint from you. That's what I'm gonna offer. So yesterday, when we were doing our pre-production meeting and we decided we were gonna talk about the Cardi shit, I told Gaines, I was like, well, I'm gonna defend Cardi because I have a different outlook on this shit. Y'all recall me saying it, right?
Yeah.
So last night, I put together my paper with all my little bullet points and shit of things that I was going to touch on to defend Cardi. And then this asshole over here, in his first part of speaking, hit every single, Deacon, hit every single fucking point that I had that I was going to use to fucking defend Cardi with. So that's why I'm just sitting here and I'm like, I'm listening to him and I'm like, well, damn, what the fuck am I supposed to say now? I'm definitely on Cardi's side in this shit. And what I will comment on is the people digging shit up from 3 years ago or whatever. I'm trying to understand, like, bro, what the fuck is your life for real? Where you got nothing better to
come up. It's all about the come up. Like, I don't care if I got to dig deep. But the problem with this shit is the same stuff you use. Like, Cardi B would not have been Cardi B without social media. That shit is double-sided. So you can't use the good shit and then blame it for the bad shit.
Now, I agree. I definitely agree with you on that because you put something on the internet, that shit is there forever. You know what I mean? And there is no deleting shit off the internet. And if motherfuckers want to go back and dig up something you did or said, you got to do that. The only place where I'm really kind of like looking at Cardi is Cardi just seemed like she way too sensitive to this social media shit. She uses it to her advantage, but she seemed like she really, really like takes the shit to heart when people come at her or whatever.
I agree with that.
And it's like, hold on, your skin got to be a little thicker than that. You know what I mean? Like they're really, in my opinion, there wasn't nothing to respond to with this shit.
Especially if you was out there on that.
But we all know dancers. We've all been to the strip club. We've all got a pass. We've all seen this side of life, that side of life, been a part of this or that. We know what the fuck that life entails. It ain't just shaking ass all the time. Everybody knows that.
It don't matter what the culture is. It don't matter. You like you saying like this. Like if me and you gonna hang out somewhere, like say we go to fucking Kirkwood, and we hanging out drinking, and we get robbed. Our defense for getting robbed is, well, we know the culture out here. Nah, fuck that. Crime is a crime.
No, I agree with that. But if we hanging out in Kirkwood and we selling drugs and get robbed,
but stripping is not a crime. Stripping is not a crime within a crime. That's a job. That's like me telling you. That's like me saying this, right? Let me put it like this. That's like me saying, hey, I work at the MARTA station on security. I know it's shady motherfuckers come through here at the MARTA station, right? I know that. Right. So what I'm going to do is rob these shady dudes, and I'm going to get over. And I'm going to brag about that shit, and I'm going to come up, and I'm going to talk shit about it. But
hold on, Gaines. Hold on. Let me ask you this, Gaines. Have you ever bought anything from anybody, online site, from a person in person, anywhere, cheaper than where it's available from the original store? Have you ever bought anything from a discounted rate?
Yes.
But you don't know what happened before it got to you for that discounted rate.
But I'm not.
You don't know what person A did to person B to get this particular item for that lower rate.
I'm not bragging about it though. I'm not bragging about it. That's like
person A might have bragged about it.
Right, but they bragging on social, like they bragging on themselves though. So like if you come out,
they going in. They going in. I hope y'all watch it.
But if you coming out, if you say, okay, I'm selling widgets, right?
Mm.
I'm selling widgets, and you come out and say, let's say Sonny say he's selling widgets, right? And that's what he's selling widgets. That's what he doing. And you come out. I'm just saying, but if D come out,
no, I'm just fucking with you. Go ahead.
And D come out and say, I'm selling widgets, but I'm robbing motherfuckers, I'm shooting motherfuckers, I'm this and this and this, and then I'm like, I'm gonna get it from Deke though, and then you gonna act like you don't. That's the game. No, Deke, that's a crime. What he's saying, and I'm participating in that crime. You know what I'm saying? But don't say, well, that's the way the game go. And then I guarantee one thing: if Cardi B and Offset had a son instead of a daughter, and their son was to get caught up in this same stuff, they would not be on the same page. That goes back to everything else that says everything is cool. It's like politicians. This is so wrong. This is so wrong. This is so wrong until we do it. And then there's a reason for it. And that's the same thing Cardi B.
That's why I disagree though, because we let that shit say. We got the president of the United States saying that, okay, if you guys catch me for this fucking crime that I committed, I'm going to pardon myself. He's saying this. So it don't matter that Cardi B from the Bronx does this. The president of the United States.
But it's all wrong though. It ain't just right because one dude do it. It's all wrong. That's the point.
All right, hold on, real quick. Let me slide in. Here's where I slightly disagree with Gaines. Right? These dudes was trying to get ass, whether they was paying for it or whatever. Right?
Right.
When you going that route, bro, you know the risk you could take. It's just like back in the days when motherfuckers had back pays. What was the thing everybody would say? Oh, yeah, you get robbed off back pays, right?
Right.
Motherfuckers would go and see. Dog, it's like this. You know what you sign up for. I don't take responsibility off of any individual. You knew what the fuck you signed up for. You was trying to take this girl up out the club. Like, it's like this. Take the situation and flip it around. Because in real life, y'all know you got dudes out here drugging strippers and raping them. Drugging regular women and raping. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So I'm not fucking mad at Cardi for getting it how she got it off of these motherfuckers.
But I'm saying, but if that shit happen, right? Or if that shit happen to your kid, let's just say, right? If that shit happen to your kid, and your kid say,
"You jackass," I done told you,
right? But
I'm going to the motherfucking hotel with these hoes.
But it's still illegal. You know what I'm saying? You can't say that something is illegal and it's okay because it's a stupid ass decision. Like that's like saying, bro, you can't ride in the HOV lane when you don't have one person or two people in the car because it's a stupid decision. Now, if you get arrested, right? But let me finish. If you get arrested, if you get stopped while you ride in the HOV lane, you can't say, well, this the lifestyle I'm living, or this the way it is, and I'm trying to come up. I got to get to work. I got to make this money. I got to do this. You can't say that as excuses. It's the fucking law. So you can't say, well, you know how the game go. The game is the law. That's just
I agree with that part. It is an excuse. Right, I agree with that part. But it's 100 other things you could have done.
But Cardi B would not face any consequences because she is Cardi B. Now, if it was me, you, and Deke, and we out there, and we doing the same exact shit, then we will face consequences.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But let me say this one thing.
Shit. Go ahead.
Let me say this. So, a person, us three, right? Let's say we get together. We decide we're going to kick in somebody's door to rob them, right?
Right.
We're going to kick in their door to rob them. We kick in their door. They got guns in the house. They shoot back at us. We run out of the door. We outside the house now. We running away. But they come to the door and shoot us in the back of the head, right?
Right.
At that point, what that homeowner did was illegal because we was outside the home and we was running away. Shooting us in the back of the head was illegal.
Right.
But are we going to have sympathy for this motherfucker that kicked in the door? Are we going to have sympathy for that person who kicked in the door? No, because they decided to kick in the door. What I'm saying with that is you decided to offer this motherfucker money to take her away from the strip club because you wanted to get your dick
Right.
You decided to pay her, which is prostitution, which is illegal, right?
Right,
you
right,
decided
right.
to journey
hold
down
on.
that road.
Well, she decided to take that money too, which is prostitution too.
Yeah, but that person decided to offer that shit. The minute he offered that money, he's participating in this crime. Whatever happens to him after that, that's on him.
But
That's part of the fucking game.
Right. But it's a crime though. You as a crime on both fronts. You can't say, well, Cardi B was agreeing with it, so it ain't a crime. You can't say that.
No. But it's like this.
You gotta say, but I'm saying that's the whole point. That's the whole way the double standard works. Looking at Cardi B like, well, she had no other options. Man, no, because if you turn that shit around, right? If you sit there and say Richard was hanging out on Swinging Richards over there off of Northside Drive, and some girl came in there crying about her issues and shit, and Swinging Richard drugged them, smashed, got away, or even drugged her, took her money, and left without smashing, you ain't gonna say, well, girl, you shouldn't have been in there crying and saying that was an issue. You're gonna sit there and say that was wrong. It's a double standard.
But I think what the example you gave just now, I think those are two different scenarios.
Why is that? I'll take the screwing out.
You know what I'm saying?
If you're in a strip club,
even if you take the screwing out, yeah.
If you're in a strip club and you're looking for companionship in the strip club, and you get this dude, and this dude is a perfect gentleman, even though he taking off his clothes being naked, and you say, hey, you want to take me home and whatever, and that dude take your ass, you know what I'm saying, take the chick home or whatever, and he give her drugs. Okay. Right. He give her drugs. I'm just saying, I'm spinning this shit around.
I got you. I didn't give her drugs.
I thought it was a different situation at first, but I
see it. Go ahead.
He take her drugs. You know what I'm saying? He give her drugs, get her passed out, take all her goddamn money, and then dip. Everybody gonna look at her as a victim. Because no, that's not a victim. The same thing. Everybody looking at Cardi B as she's doing what she had to do to get to where she needed to be. Nah, you was committing crimes to come up. So don't try to make that shit seem like it's so good. You know what I'm saying? Because if it was the other way around, if it was a dude doing the same thing,
okay. So, you know I thought you was arguing a different point. Arguing the man-woman thing.
No, I'm saying like the same thing I always say. All animals are created equal, but some animals are more equal than others. And the bottom line of that shit is it's okay for Cardi B to do that shit because she was coming up, she was in the life, she was doing all that shit. But when it comes around to if you say a dude was doing that shit, if you say what that shit was called, what that movie from True Blood and all
Magic
that. Magic Mike. If Magic Mike came out with the movie, Magic Mike say this is what we doing. So my role is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drug these hoes, get this money, and I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna get to that point. And if he tells this story, they will lynch that dude.
All right, let me ask y'all this question. Let's just say Elm Street. Right? Hmm? Somebody tells you 10 people have gone to Elm Street. Mm-hmm. 10 people have gotten robbed on Elm Street.
Okay.
10 people went to Elm Street, 10 people got robbed.
Yeah.
If you decide to go to Elm Street, whose fault is that? Is that your fault that you got robbed?
It ain't your fault.
People on Elm Street.
It ain't your fault. The fact that you got robbed. You still got robbed. It's still a crime. But now, your crime might be, but don't matter. Your crime might not be solved. You know what I'm saying? It might not get nothing on it, but it's still a crime. It's not less of a crime because you know what was happening when it happened. You know what I'm saying?
It's more of your responsibility though. If I'm going to Elm Street, 10 people before me got robbed. Why the fuck am I going to Elm
that's when you go to that classism shit. Because if somebody out here in Alpharetta go down there to Everline and get robbed, why is that more of a crime? You still got robbed. The act is somebody took a gun and put it to your face and took your money. That's still a crime. You can't say that shit because if that's the case, then you can sit there and say all these people in Southwest Atlanta, none of y'all crimes matter. Because you knew what it is. You in Southwest Atlanta, move somewhere else. You can't say that. It's still a crime.
Say that. Nah, you're right with that. Can't say that.
So when Cardi B says I did this to come up because it's a lifestyle I'm in, nah, you still committing crimes. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter. It don't get passed because of the lifestyle. you still committing the crime.
It's not the crime. You not putting no responsibility on the people who trying to pay this girl to fuck.
It's still, yeah, it's still, but you still committed a crime. Like it's still.
Where's their responsibility in this shit?
And that's what I was trying to say.
Hold on, let me tell you this then. Let's go with this then. Let's say you got two people who doing your taxes, and this person tell you, you pay me $100, I'll get you $4,000 back, and the next person tell you, you pay $150, you get $10,000 back. Now, if you go to the person that give you $10,000 back, they're gonna take your money and say bye because you know you should have known you shouldn't get no $10,000 back. You know what I'm saying? It's still a crime. You know what I'm saying? It might be that you should have known better. You should have known with the way these laws are written that you would not get no $10,000 back.
And
but
my
you
point
still went over that though, and you still
where is
got
my
that
responsibility for researching the guy who wants 150 and researching the guy who wants 100?
Right, but it's still a crime. Like that's still a crime being committed. That's what I'm saying. Like you can't
it's
base
just not
crime.
all on her. It can't be all on her.
But she committed the crime. That's the thing with America though. You can't give people passes because they committed a crime and you say you should have known better. Like, okay, let's say this. So you mean to tell me anything that come of, let's say anything come of Trump being elected, any crime he committed. Let's say Trump go out there and shoot a dude in the street and pardon himself. And then he come out on TV and say, hey, you knew what I was before you elected me. You can't say that's a crime because you knew better. You can't say that.
I'm not saying that wasn't a crime, but I'm saying is we all should take some responsibility for putting that motherfucker in office, though.
Right. That dude should have known better. He should have said, man, look, he should have known better. He should have said, hey, man, I knew that was a bad idea. But at the end of the day, it still was a crime that was committed to me. You can't just judge crimes on people who.
I'm killing all Malik's points right now. Cause me and Gaines going at it, man.
Yeah, hey, y'all lit. Y'all lit. Yeah, hey. Y'all got it going. I'm just
hey, that's it.
That's going. Just keep it going.
Like, that's the point people don't get. Like, people are giving, like, that's the same thing with Bill Cosby right here. So people knew Bill Cosby was drugging people. He talked about that shit in the show. People knew in Hollywood that these chicks went over there, and when they went over there, they came back with their ass hurting, and they was not confused. You know what I'm saying? They knew that shit, right? So now you gonna sit there and tell me you gonna say, "Hey, it's y'all fault. Y'all knew." Nah.
Hold on. No. Now I am going to jump in right now because of that Bill Cosby reference you made. So to Deacon's point, he drugged and raped 120 something women, right?
Right.
So victim 119 and 120. Y'all knew that this is what the fuck this motherfucker was on.
Exactly. But you can't say that though. You can't say, well, y'all
Why
knew.
Can't I say that?
You can't say y'all knew so that crime didn't matter. You can't say that.
No.
I'm not saying the crime didn't matter.
I'm not saying the crime didn't matter.
They have some responsibility.
They do, but it's still a crime. It's still a two-part thing though. It's still y'all knew, and it's still he did that shit. I could see what you saying this. I could see Cardi B saying like, hey, well, I had no other option. Yes, you did. Maybe your option might have been going to witness and not making X amount, but you're making this amount. You can't say I ain't had no other option.
Argue that with you.
So my option was I'm gonna go stripping, and when I go stripping, I'm gonna rob a nigga, and then when I rob him, I'm gonna say I ain't had no option. He should have known better. No, stop, because but hold on, but if that was the other way around, right? If that was the other way around, and Take Off or Sit Down or whatever dude name it, who got a baby? Offset. Right. If Offset took his son to a strip club and left,
sit down.
You're gonna sit there and say, hey, bro, I took you there. You should have known, should have known it's grimy. So whenever them boys get you or them girls get you and take you for everything you got, you ain't got nothing to say because you knew it was grimy. You can't say that. It's like the Bible, right? They'll say, I killed somebody, but I didn't do this. Or I've slept with somebody, but I didn't do this. It's still a crime. Like you can't put level to that shit.
So why are we putting a different level on the crime the dude who got robbed is committing? He's trying to purchase ass.
But it's the same thing though. He tried to purchase it, right? And then he got robbed. But the person that robbed him, instead of just saying, hey, we chalk it up to the game, she's out there bragging on it. That's the thing. Like if I said that, this dude came to me to rob to if I'm selling weed, let's say, right?
All right.
And this dude came to me to buy some weed. and I pull a pistol on him, and I say, get out of here. And then I get on Instagram, and I'm bragging about how I had the pistol, and I told him to leave, and I look at my weed, and my weed right here, and I ain't selling it to him, because I'm telling him to go. Like, that's still a crime. I still got the weed. Like, I'm still doing it. It ain't his fault because he can't look for it. The way people do is now is they categorize crimes. Like, they say, I robbed one dude, but I ain't robbed 10, so it's different. No, you still committed a crime. I'm a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? I'm a celebrity. In order to get to be a celebrity, so I have all that privilege, I did what I had to do to get to it. But you shouldn't judge me on that because I had no option.
Hey, guess what?
My other option was I go to work like all of us. I sit there and punch a clock like all of us. Right. I sit there and have all this for all of us. That was my other option.
But you know who doesn't get drugged and robbed? The guy who go to the strip club, have him a good time. He ain't trying to offer this bitch no $200 to take her back to the hotel. He leave and get the fuck on, go back to his life. He don't get drugged and robbed. But this guy who goes in there, he's got the mindset of, all right, I'm going to offer this bitch some money, see if she'll come back with me. So he goes in, takes this bitch out like she's so in love with him, like she got his best interest at heart. He gets his dumb ass robbed.
Right,
he
so
gets his dumb ass drugged and robbed.
What if it's a slow night? What if it's a slow night? Right? And Cardi B, she has no other option. What if it's a slow night? What if we just in there and we just hear $10 here, $20 here? We ain't trying to take her back. What if she come over there and she say, hey, we could blah, 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 and she talk a minute of that shit. Let's just say, right?
But that's not where we at.
Well, hold on. I'm just saying. What if she does that, though? So if she does that shit and then she take him back, so is that his fault for agreeing or her fault for offering? The point is people skewing that shit. But if you do a crime, if it's a prostitution crime, and if it's a low budget prostitution crime over there on Fulton Street in Atlanta, that shit gonna be two people going to jail. It gonna be the person who was soliciting and the person who did the soliciting. If I said that shit wrong, it's gonna be both of them. So if that dude is wrong for doing that shit, she is wrong for doing that shit too. You can't say one is okay, I did it because I had no option or whatever, and one was like, well, I did it too, and I offered. You can't say that shit. It's both a crime. It's like you saying if.
But do we have sympathy for people while they're committing crimes? If somebody commits a robbery and gets murdered while they're committing a robbery, do I have sympathy that he's dead? Fuck no. If this guy's committing this crime trying to get this girl back to the hotel, we don't know what his intentions were when he got her back there.
Right. Well, hold on.
If he gets robbed while he's in the midst, hold on now. If he gets robbed while he's in the midst of that, do I have sympathy for him? He's the one who took her out the club.
But y'all both did a crime. That's like okay. Let's look at the water in Flint, right? That shit still ain't fixed, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That shit still ain't fixed. So who you gonna fault? At this point, you gonna fault the person who ain't fix it, or the person who live in there believing some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta fault two people. It's two people committing the crime. You can't just say, well, you should have known better. That ain't defense. So we can't say that, well, we all know better. If you go to a stripper and the stripper's telling you we gonna go back to here, we all know that's a red flag. Don't do that. We teach our kids that. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? We teach our kids, like, even do not take pictures of shit in your house because they will look at that and they will use it to case you to get you. We teach people that. You can't teach people, well, you can't say, well, this is not a crime and this is a crime, but if they did it, well, it's a crime on them. And no, it's two people agreeing to a crime. That's like if I'm robbing somebody and you driving the car, you know what? We both guilty. You know what I'm saying? You can't say I'm only driving the car because he did this and it's his fault. No, we both did it. We both in on this shit.
I agree with you there that everybody's in or everybody's guilty. But the place that I don't agree is we got to have some responsibility on person A that starts this transaction. When person A decides to go down this road, I don't give a fuck what happens to them. They decided to take that road.
But we charged them both. We charged Cardi B with admitting to a robbery, and we charged this dude here for he over there soliciting a prostitute. Charge them both.
But that's what they mean by like it's a part of it. When you decide like I said, if a motherfucker goes to rob somebody's house and gets shot, that's part of it. You decided to go rob this house.
Right. But you got to charge everybody. You got to charge everybody. But what's gonna happen is, but the whole point of this shit is what's gonna happen is Cardi B is gonna get pushed under the rug, and she's gonna say she's a victim. At some point, we gotta separate. You are famous, so you get X amount of treatment from people who ain't famous, and that's what we're not doing. Like Cardi B is any old chick in the club. If some chick in the club got you for a lot of money or something, if you can legally come after her, you would legally come after her. You know what I'm saying? They can't do nothing to her because they saying that, well, she had no other option and she had to get into the music industry. No, she didn't. She had an option, get a fucking job.
You know, but guess what? When this happened, whenever it happened, those guys could have went after her legally then, but they chose not to. You want to know why? Because they was embarrassed about what the fuck they was doing.
Yeah, but
they could get caught up in what they was doing.
But embarrassment does not mean it's not a crime, though. Embarrassment doesn't mean it's not a crime.
But soliciting prostitution is.
Right, but
I'm not about to go to the cops and say, hey, this bitch robbed me while I was trying to pay for pussy.
Hey,
who's gonna do that?
But you could say this chick robbed me, period. Right? Let's just say that. If it wasn't, let's say if it wasn't prostitution, let's just say she robbed him straight up. Right? He wouldn't. It was a slow night. You know what I'm saying? She's soliciting. A dude is not going to report that.
Story. That's not the story.
But a dude is not going. But I'm saying a dude is not going to report that because of double standard. That's the whole point.
So you're arguing the point that you don't feel like Cardi is two things. You're arguing the point that you don't feel that Cardi is accepting enough of the blame, and you don't feel that people are holding Cardi responsible enough for this shit.
Because she openly said that I had no options. Yes, you did have options.
I agree with that. You have other options,
right? Yeah. And you're saying that, well, that's the life in the game. The game don't make it right. And the truth is, she committed crimes to get to where she wanted to be, but because she's a woman, people are not going to say nothing about it. They're going to sit there and say, well, she had no other option. But if it was R. Kelly doing that shit, if R. Kelly was messing with girls in the strip club and he was drugging them and robbing them and taking their money and going to the studio and spending that money and making fucking keys to the ignition, then people would sit there and say, oh my God, he's a horrible person.
All right, wait, hold on right there. D, the point you arguing is that there's not enough accountability being given to the guys in the situation that got robbed because they got robbed trying to buy ass out the strip club.
Correct. That's what it means when she says it's a part of the game. They entered into that world, right? They entered into that world with her and them other strippers out there. They entered into that. Whatever happens to them after that happens to them. They shouldn't have walked through that door if they wasn't prepared for what was on the other side of that door. You can't walk through it. You can't walk through it if you're not prepared for what's on the other side of that door.
But a crime is still a crime.
Outside of this door to my left over here, and it's peace outside to the front. If I want peace, why the fuck am I gonna walk out this door? I'm walking out this one.
But if you go out that door and commit a war crime, you know what? You're still getting prosecuted for it because it's a war crime. It's still a crime. You know what I'm saying? It's still a crime.
All right, hold on. Whoa. Slow down. All right. I don't think we're gonna reach any type of conclusion on this topic. Number one, we don't really do this to reach any type of conclusions anyway. We just like talking about shit, debating shit.
It's opinions, man. Opinions.
With opinions.
Next topic, no transition. Lonzo Ball. Big baller brand.
Goddamn.
Yeah, finish.
All right, so check it out. Let's do the backstory real quick. Fact. A family friend and a guy who was working for the company stole $1 million and some change from the company, right? This is money that should have been going to LeVar Ball, which in turn should have been going to Lonzo Ball since Lonzo is a member of the company, right?
Yeah, 50% on.
50% on, okay. So in retaliation, Lonzo covers up his tattoo, unfollows Big Baller on all his social media. His brothers do the same. So where are we at now, D?
So I'm going to start this off with a question to you both.
All right.
I'm going to give a scenario and then I'm going to ask a question at the end. You got a homeboy who has gone to jail for money laundering and fraud 3 times, right? Your homeboy gets out. You got something going on with your business. You trying to mess with your homeboy. You bring your homeboy in. Even if you bring your homeboy in, do you put him in charge of the money?
Nope.
Fuck no, not with his background.
Not with his background.
Not with his fucking background. No.
Nope.
So now my thing is, I wanted to see LeVar succeed in this shit, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because he went against the establishment, and it was him and his family. You know, however he was doing it, business-wise, if you had difference of opinion, fine. But the thing was, he was doing it for him and his family. Whether you agree with all his decisions or not, right? Like, I didn't agree with him pulling LaMelo out of UCLA or LiAngelo out of UCLA, and I didn't agree with him pulling LaMelo out of high school.
Right.
But see, now with this business crumbling, now everybody's going to open the floodgates and talk about how he was wrong from the get-go. And they're going to deter anybody else from trying to do this, trying to build their own brand. If your son is a multi-million-dollar basketball player and you guys can build your own shoe brand, your own clothing brand, why not do it? But now with this is going to be a deterrence to anybody else to try to do it.
Well, let me ask you this, because this is what I was thinking about. Do you think maybe LeVar has something to do with Lonzo Ball's decision to start, basically distance himself from the company? Because LeVar Ball said, like, he's since come out and said that, hey, this one setback isn't going to stop us at all. Well, he even said, whether my son participates in the company or not, this is not going to stop Big Baller Brand.
But see, why would you even say that? I feel like that family shit is starting to get muddied into the world, you know?
Yeah.
You sound like you're making excuses. You know what I'm saying? You sound like you're making excuses like, well, if it don't pop, then it's because of this and this. But nah, you're supposed to you're supposed to be able to.
Is it disloyal then? Let's say LeVar didn't have anything to do with Lonzo Ball. I really wasn't a huge fan. I can understand Lonzo Ball being pissed. Like, man, hey, this dude you brought into the company stole the money. Yep. But this
1.5 million ain't nothing to sneeze.
1.5 million.
No, not at all. But I think for me, looking at Lonzo Ball, this is like the situation where you should have been standing next to your dad, the way he stood next to you and taking on the establishment. You know what I mean?
Yep. Unless dad has done some shady shit in this too. Because see, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Like, for you to totally disassociate yourself from Big Baller, it's not like they kicked the other guy out. They're like, hey, you got to sell off your parts of this company.
Right.
He slid back all the way and slid away from his dad too. So now that has me thinking, like, did the dad take his homeboy side and say, nah, my homeboy didn't do this? Is that what happened? We don't know, but that's what it makes me think of.
Well, LeVar Ball called him a snake. LeVar Ball said, he's a snake, and what you got to realize is I'm a snake charmer. That's what he said.
Right,
this is what LeVar Ball
said. You a snake charmer, but you ain't seen it coming. Like, how you a snake charmer?
The snake still bit your ass. Like,
right. I'm a snake charmer, but it still bit me, but I saw it coming. Man, stop. Like, give a rat's ass what you think, LeVar. You still screwed that up.
But LeVar has screwed a lot of this up, though. But
he has, yeah.
He still has his family. They can generate revenue off of their own name. There's not a lot of people who can say that. They got a Facebook show on their own. LiAngelo and LaMelo, I think long term they'll be all right. I don't know if this basketball dream is gonna work out for them, but
I think so either.
Yeah, because they already said LaMelo, his college eligibility is gone because he played over there
overseas. Yeah.
So he's in high school now, but he's not gonna be able to go to college and play anywhere.
Right.
Yeah, there were a lot of missteps in this thing. I just don't want to see. I'm hoping that their nucleus, they can keep that together. Just push Buddy out of there and keep that together and keep bringing up the Ball family and keep making money that way, because that way LaMelo and LiAngelo have futures. Because right now, Lonzo's the only one in the NBA, and he's probably going to be the only one in the NBA. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you think is disloyalty though? And let's say we just take LeVar Ball's story at face value, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Do you think it was disloyalty on Lonzo's part to go ahead and go as far as even covering up the tattoo?
Yeah.
That's
I think so. Cause
Yeah.
that's what would be the whole thing. This whole thing's supposed to be big baller brand, blah 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 blah. But I think he sees what his dad is doing. Like his dad is not a great businessman. His dad has a great idea and is implementing a great idea, but he's not a great businessman.
Right.
And
Right.
he's screwing it up. You know what I'm saying? I think he sees that, and now he's gonna try to break away from him. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I think it's gonna fall by the wayside. He had a good idea and it made sense on paper, but nah.
So then the other question that I had was, without Lonzo Ball, is Big Baller Brand done? Is it over?
I think so.
I think
Because
so.
that was their whole thing. It was the three boys, Big Baller Brand, the three Bs, all the
Right.
balls.
Mhm.
And it's already messed up because the other two aren't making it to the NBA most likely. Even though the younger one was a real talent. The
Right.
middle one was never making it to the NBA.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
the younger one was a real talent, but you know, he got screwed up.
Mhm.
So without the three boys, because I don't
It's a
think
wrap.
it was about other people bringing in. The attraction was the family. You know,
Right.
all
The
three of
Ball
these
family,
basketball
yeah.
And that
boys
family
and LeVar.
they could play, and they were like, okay, we could play. So now we in the limelight, you know what I'm saying? And he started talking all that shit about the Lakers and this and this, and he started blowing out of proportion. But they could play, but now it's like, nah. I mean that stigma is wearing off with them.
Yeah.
And now, let me ask y'all this, because I got my own feelings as far as this concerned. Is Lonzo Ball really that big of a deal?
I think this is gonna help him be a better player because I think this is turning him into his own man. Because even beforehand, when they were going to ESPN and to Fox and doing interviews, LeVar would be sitting there and LeVar's doing all the talking. Lonzo just sitting there and he's not saying
Yeah,
anything.
he puppeteering for his son. Like he just talk, he doing all the talking. His son probably looking like, man, Dad, shut up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's probably what he was doing. You know, because his dad is putting his foot in his mouth, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
But the world is gonna love you until they don't. You know what I'm
So
saying?
they don't. Ain't that the truth?
Yep.
And
When they realize they're gonna be like, man, you doing too much, and they're gonna just
Yeah.
they're gonna die down.
I
Nah,
just
we'll
hate the
keep-
fact that this happened business-wise because this proves everybody right.
Everybody
now the
right.
Nikes, the Reeboks, the Adidas, they all gonna say,
They gonna turn around and
"All
say, see, I told you.
He had a good
better
idea.
come sign with us."
He had a good idea about doing, okay, we're gonna have this brand, our own stuff. He had a good idea, but that it just fell apart because it wasn't ran the right way.
Well, it comes to the point where, and sometimes, you know, creative people have a hard time recognizing that a lot of creative people are not necessarily the best business people. Like you said, he had a great idea, but sometimes when it comes to executing the idea, especially on that level, right, you got to be surrounded by great business minds. You got to be surrounded by people who understand that world and can take your idea.
And he writing people off.
Potential, yeah.
And he writing people off. That's his problem. He's writing people off instead of just bringing them in to help. You know what I'm saying? That's his problem.
Exactly. So we'll keep an eye, man. We'll keep an eye on the Ball family and Big Baller Brand.
Bless his heart.
I think it's time that we go into the Gaines Corner for this week. Gaines Corner.
Animation.
So today's thing is the ultimate I don't give a rat's ass. This dude in Florida, man, and that brings to Florida. I don't know what's going on in Florida, but these dudes are wilding out. So this dude says in Florida that he didn't feel like going to work at Hardee's. So he called in a robbery, and he said that I was robbed of my chain and my gun. He said these dudes jumped out of the Crown Vic, took my shit, and dipped.
Wait a minute.
So hold on. No, let me feel. Hold on. So he said that, and they called out the K9 unit. They called out the helicopters. And then they found out he was lying. He was like, yeah, my bad. I just ain't want to go to work. Like, bro. Like, bro, like, come on, like.
Wait a minute, wait, hold on. All right, so he works at Hardee's.
At Hardee's.
This is in Florida, you said.
In Florida. Florida man.
Right.
Florida man does everything.
So he didn't want to go to work.
Yes.
So he called, I'm trying to make sure I'm understanding. So he called the police and said he got robbed?
He called 911 and said I got robbed by 2 dudes in the Crown Vic.
Oh, he called 911?
Yes. And said they jumped out, they robbed me, they took my phone, my chain. They threw my chain, my phone on the ground, let it break, and just dipped. And then he came out and said, "Oh, my bad, I was just lying. I just didn't want to go to work."
So instead of this man just calling Hardee's,
right,
calling out for the day,
hey,
just say you sick. Just say you sick. Just say you sick.
Yeah.
He calls 911. They bring out the goddamn K9 units and shit.
In a helicopter.
Right.
In a helicopter.
In the helicopter.
Yeah, they're surveying.
Man, please.
Because he didn't want to flip burgers at Hardee's.
But guess what? His ass ain't gonna have to worry about flipping them at Hardee's no more.
But that's the
His
thing,
ass gonna be on the style line.
That's the thing that brought to light like this Florida man challenge. So what they doing is they're saying if you put your birthday in and just type Florida man, you'll get a bunch of different crazy stories from Florida people. So I did that with a couple of friends of mine, right? Birthdays. So I'm gonna go ahead and read off some of these right here. So one of them, Florida man trafficking cocaine in Lunchables. Hold up, let's get better. Florida men jumping McDonald's employees because they didn't give them the right straws. Like,
Damn, man.
And one dude, and the best one ever that I read, Florida man is accused of trying to use weed on currency at the Circle K. So like, bro, like,
well, he went in there with a dime bag trying to get some gas.
Right, exactly. Like, that's what I'm saying. Something wrong with people in Florida.
Bro, wait a minute, hold on. So he went to the Circle K and he tried to say, hey, bro, I'm going to trade you a bag for some fucking gas.
So look, everybody need to go in. This is the thing. Everybody need to go in and type in Google search, type Florida man, and type your birthday. And you'll find the craziest shit. I did my birthday, and my birthday was dude pulled over in a Fred Flintstone car with the little feet pushing the car, and he pulled over because he was wilding out in the car. How you wild out in a Flintstone car is beyond me. But you pulled over that shit on my birthday. So like,
how the fuck you got the Flintstone car? What did you?
He made that shit with the thing in the back, in the little side, the back.
Right.
Side for the Bronto burger, whatever. Yeah, it's Florida man. Wow. I don't know what's.
Let's do it live right now.
Mine is Florida man went for a job interview at Kohl's and then shoplifted after the job interview.
Exactly. See that? Hold up. See that shit right there? Like, Florida man shoplift after the job. Who does that shit? Like, who goes to the job interview and then shoplift while they're at the job interview? Like, who does that?
Mine is Florida man who jumped in crock pit gets 1 year in jail.
There you go. See, like, if you
a man wearing croc style shoes who jumped into a crocodile pit and was bitten last year has been sentenced to 1 year in jail.
There you go.
He's an asshole.
He's an asshole.
He's an asshole. Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
It's saying, like, people just typing their birthdays in. That's the new thing. They typing their birthdays in with Florida, man. You see all the crazy stuff people in Florida do. Like, Florida, I don't know what's going on with the water, but Florida people just wilding out. Like, how you call 911 and say you got robbed and give a full description? Why you don't just say you sick?
Everything. Like, man,
why not just call the fuck into the job, man? Like, hey, I'm not coming. Hey, I fucking quit.
Hey, to all the viewers out there, everybody put in your Florida man and your birthday and comment below the stories that you're getting.
Yeah, comment below.
See all the craziness that's happening in Florida.
I'm super curious to see what else they got with this Florida man shit, for real.
That's the 3 I got. I don't know what's going on in Florida. I don't know, like, what's the deal with it, but I don't know. Something in the water ain't clean. Like, something in the milk ain't clean, like the old folks say, but something ain't right out there, man. Like,
something ain't right down there, bro.
They're wilding out there. Did you remember the guy who walked in the liquor store? He had the alligator with him.
Hey, man, y'all got beer still? Y'all ain't out, are y'all? Is he taking the last bit of the beer? Are you taking the last bit? Come here, bring yours.
No recollection of that happening at all.
At all. This store sells some good liquor. And I drank a lot of it that night.
And he said, I don't remember that shit. I was drunk. You remember that?
That's fucking
Hey,
crazy. That's fucking
that
crazy.
shit. He was like, I don't know. They got good liquor there. Like they ain't got good liquor everywhere. It ain't like it's a
Same
bar.
fucking shit,
Like
right?
they making the drinks for you. This is fucking
Right.
He had
Exactly.
he had the alligator on his hip, like walking around, like, yeah, what's up? But
He
that shit
said-
like on the hip. And the alligator was chilling, like, what is you doing? Like, it's right here. What's going on?
That's crazy.
Fucking Florida.
That's crazy.
Man.
Purpose of Florida, man. Florida's a fun place, but just I'm gonna be in there next week, but just don't wild out all the way.
That's crazy.
Not all the way.
The moral of the story is don't be Florida man. Like, don't be the Florida
Don't be
man.
Florida man.
Right.
Florida man challenge. Fellas. Another one down. Let's get some tags, man.
Deacon44 on IG, still not fucking with Twitter.
Gaines, where you at, man?
Hey man, this is G Gangs on Instagram, and I don't give a rat's ass what your tag is. There you go. G Gangs, that's all it is.
G-Gaines, I got you. And you can catch me on Instagram at Soundchasm. Catch me on Twitter at ChasmSound. Fellas, we got an announcement to make. This episode actually had a sponsor. For this episode.
Our first sponsor.
Our first sponsor, 4 episodes in. I'm loving it. This is we were sponsored today by Mr. Rome Williams and his independent film SWA-TECH. The description: freshman phenomenon Jason Williams has 1 week left to prove he belongs. Like many student athletes, college ball is more than a shot at a degree, it's a way out. After a shocking turn of events, Jason and his teammates hold the fate of the program in their hands. It's a stunning debut and truly independent film from first-time writer-director Rome Williams, tackling a polarizing issue around college sports and what many believe to be a broken system. Shout out to Rome Williams. Appreciate
Shout
you.
Shout out, Rome.
Appreciate it, Rome. Yeah.
For real. Anybody else out there, if you got any other inquiry regarding advertising, any topics you want us to discuss, you can hit us up, AWO Podcast at gmail.com. You can also catch us on Instagram at AWO Podcast. Catch us on Twitter at AWO Podcast 1. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe on this video. Head back, check out episodes 1, 2, and 3. We're going to keep it going, man. So that's all we got for today. Opinions are like assholes. We just some assholes. Appreciate you.
We don't give a rat's ass what y'all think. There you go. Right now. We just got it out. We out here wild.